Okay, sure. Great. Okay, good day, everyone, especially you, Sir Ari and Miss Vicky. So my name is Naya Adisti Putri. Here, I'm about to do a presentation as the task assignment for our midterm task here. So I chose the presentation form to deliver my thesis draft, chapter 1 until 3. So let's begin. And this is the title of my thesis and abstract. So my thesis title is Communicating Value Through Property Expose, exploring the influence of event-based marketing in consumer decision-making in Indonesia's real estate sector. And this study focused on how marketing communication, particularly through property expose, can drive consumer decisions making in Indonesia's real estate industry, and with a case study of PT Summarecon Agung Tbk. So, as I mentioned before that, okay, maybe I'm going to moving on to the next slide is my chapter 1 draft is for introduction. For introduction part here, as the background of the study, here I'm about to explain that property expose, have evolved into an immersive marketing platform, and especially for Sumarecon, it has become an annual strategic event to showcase their products and building trust and drive the decision making for their consumer. Especially after the pandemic happened, these integrating elements like entertainment and digital experiences has become very vital in attracting and engaging the buyers. And here for the problem statement, as we all know that property sector is challenged by the economic shift, especially after the pandemic era. So for the question that I put on for this problem statement is what values in this expose actually influence decision? Uh, with expose, what I mean is expo in plural terms. Okay. And which elements matter most post pandemic? And how do emotional and rational factors interact in this marketing context? Okay. And moving on for the study objective. This study has four objectives, as you can see here, is how to identify the communication values and evaluate specific event elements and explore emotional, rational influences and over insights, not over, offer insights that can be applied by property marketers. Uh, for the significance of the study here, okay, this study, as I mentioned before, offers practical value for real estate marketers and, of course, contributes academically by expanding theories in communication and provides socioeconomic relevance by understanding a growing middle class market. Okay, and for the scope and the limitation of this study, okay, the scope focuses only on Sumarekon Expos in the post-pandemic era in Indonesia and involving personal home buyers. It doesn't include broader campaigns or investors, and it also excludes events prior to 2023. Okay, and for chapter 2, my draft. Uh, You all know that chapter 2 is about theoretical framework. So for the literature review here, it shows that event marketing can bridge emotional and rational appeal. So I put some journal here, article journal here, scholars like Setiawan and Nicole that describe that these events as immersive experiences that reshape consumer engagement and post-pandemic hybrid strategies like digital interactivity are quite crucial in keeping buyers interested. Okay, next slide. Still in the chapter two draft is about theoretical framework, and point 2.2, uh, the study is built on the three theories. Okay, and I'm still digging the theories because my thesis advisor has told me that maybe social judgment theory doesn't quite fit with this thesis. But here in my draft, I put it, still I put it. So maybe we can discuss about this later on. So what do you think about this? Okay. Uh, for the first theory is the theory from Hall in the 1960s. So it's cultural studies theory that explain how culturally aligned event themes build emotional trust and consumer engagement. And the next one for the social judgment theory, it helps understand how existing perception affect message perception. And the theory of planned behavior also shows that how intention is formed from attitude, norms, and control. Okay. And still in the chapter two. So for definition of terms here is just to make sure the clarity. Uh, I define the key terms like emotional and rational factors, communicating value, and event-based marketing. And this is to ensure that the research variables are clearly understood. Okay. For the conceptual framework, still in the chapter two here. So the visually it's about visually maps out how event-based marketing influences decision making and mediated by emotional and rational factors. So the goal is to discover how exposed can communicate value effectively. So this is the draft here. And yeah, so I think I don't have to explain this. It's just the draft of the graph that I made, just to make it clear for the section. It's the each section. Okay. So we are entering the chapter three. So my draft here is focus in the research method, of course, the research design and research method. So for the 3.1, it's about the paradigm. The paradigm here, of course, this study follows the constructivist paradigm in communication because it looks at how meaning is created through experience. I also use a mixed method design for a richer analysis. So why it is have to be mixed? Maybe the explanation will show after this. So this is it. Why this study can apply with two methods and it's the mixed method because it's combining, of course, both qualitative and quantitative methods. So it's going to it can give the multi-dimensional nature of consumer decision making and the communicate strategies that is embedded in the event-based marketing. So I need to do a measurement on how this event-based marketing like Sumarecon Property Expo uh, can affect it, or how affected, uh, how it is effectively effective, I mean, to create the consumer decision making. So why do I do this research? Because this is a very interesting. It's not just a normal event base. It's not uh, some kind of normal expo, like a property expo, like a normal property expo. Because Sumarecon recently, for the last 2 years, they held a very unique expo. They created, so they didn't show all of the display. They didn't do the display of all their products, their property, and then their any other kind of product. No, they didn't show that. So they created an property expo with a very unique concept, which is they were inviting a circus, and this circus is from Russia, a long way from Russia to Jakarta, Indonesia, especially to do a show every day for 10 or maximum at most 10 or 11 days, every day, exclusively in this Summarecon Property Expo. So they created a very unique entertainment chemistry, and then they also they created the immersive art area where children and any other visitors can come and visit and enjoy the immersive art that very, very attractive and very moving forward with the technology as well. So this is very unique because the concept of Summarecon Property Expo is very unique. So I need to do research. Does this kind of concept is very effective to make the potential buyer decision to make a decision whether they are buying this or not. Of course, we all know that Sumarecon is one of the big or leader property company in Indonesia. But the things is, there are some challenges, mostly after post-pandemic, after pandemic, that the economic is shifting, that people are maybe they have to think uh, carefully to buy a property because property is not a cheap thing. So it's quite expensive right now. So, uh, does the expo that Sumaricon have done for the last 2 years with the unique concept, is it effective? Is it from the expo that they held? Do they have a lot of buyers from that? That's why I need to do this in a mixed method because I also need to do in-depth interview with their customer as well. So I know how this expo, Sumarecon Expo, of course, affect them effectively to make a decision to buy their property. Okay, so sir, moving on to the next chapter here. No, I need to. Okay, I think this slide is a little bit next. Yes, okay. So, as I mentioned before, that I'm going for this thesis, for this research, that a mixed method maybe would be uh, proper to examine for my study here. Okay, so for the research method here, of course, in-depth interviews will be conducted with Summarecon's marketing and of course the visitors from the Summarecon Property Expos. And meanwhile, surveys also will be used to gather customer insight more broadly. And this is a descriptive exploratory study. And the next one, So for the data collection techniques here, I will use interviews, surveys, and possibly observation to gather data. Okay. So they are going to do another expo this year. This expo is their annual event. And what I've heard, because they are going to celebrate their 50 years anniversary this year, so it's going to be much bigger and much extravaganza. So if it is possible, maybe I can do the observation directly. And of course, each technique will support the data triangulation and making the data more valid. Okay, for the research variables here. So qualitative data will be analyzed using thematic coding, and using quantitative responses will be processed with descriptive and correlation statistics, like using SPSS and any other kind of application that can be used. Okay, so for another slide here, still at the chapter 3, and it's about research design and method, of course. So for the, yes, okay, for the time and place of study here. Okay, the study will be conducted only in Jabodetabek area and focusing only on Sumarekon, PT Sumarekon Agung Tbk. And of course, with the population and sample as follows. So I'm going to do a research, okay, surveys from all the visitors of Sumerican Property Expo from the year 2023 and 2024. And if it is possible, this year's as well. And of course, I am going to do a sample size from 100 and 150 respondents from quantitative for the quantitative data. And for in the in-depth interview, maybe 5 or 10 participants, but I think 5 is enough already. So for the sampling technique, is a purposive sampling for interviews and simple random sampling for questionnaires. And why do I do this study and at PT Sumarekon Agung Tbk? Because I am the part of this event. So for the last 2 years, I'm one of the talent actually, because I am a professional master of ceremony. So I'm very aware and very familiar with this event. And because for the last 2 years, the concept is very unique, one of a kind, and I'm very curious why do they help this kind of event, and it is effective of or not for the consumer to make a decision in making the decision in buying their property. Okay, it is very related with the major that I took, the corporate communication, and yeah, and it's easier for me because I have known Sumarekon for a very long time, so I can get the access to get the information which I needed. Okay, so third, for the limitation of research here. Okay, of course, this study is limited in several ways, and it only analyzes Sumarekon events post-pandemic. So starting from 2023 to 2024, and of course, once again, if it is possible in 2025. And it focuses on home buyers, not investors, and it is geographically restricted to only Jabodetabek area. Also, due to time and resources, qualitative depth and survey reach may be constrained. Okay, so this is my last slides. As you can see here, these are the key academic sources and real-world data used to support my study, including theories and practical examples from marketing journals and, of course, Sumarecon's official platforms and their marketing. and communication teams. Okay, I hope I can reach your expectation here, and maybe the next time we meet, we can have a discussion, deeper discussion about it. It is strong enough to become a thesis for a uh, master graduate level. So thank you very much, sir, for watching my presentation, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.